Welcome, everybody, to episode 8 of Behind the Stripes podcast. My name is Rama, Peroo, joined as always by Hall of Famer, Tiger great head coach Dave Burroughs. Coach, great to have you with us once again.
Great to be here.
We got a great guest with us, as always. Today's guest, Coach Steve Gream. Coach, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Coach Grimm's done an unbelievable job with the Cowley Volleyball program, as you all know. Two-time national champions. Last year had another top 5 finish. Boy, Coach, you've just done an incredible job here at Cowley. We're very proud of all the success, and yeah, I'm excited today to get to know more about you and what you did before coming to Cowley, because we know about all the great things you've done here at the school. But tell us a little bit about, where did you grow up, and what was life like growing up as a young Steve Gream?
Well, I was born and raised on a farm in southeast Missouri in a little town called Portagesville, which is about 15, 30 minutes from the Mississippi River. So I was tucked down in that area there, and just learned how to work hard and learn the intangibles of life and how to deal with problems. And one of the things my dad wanted to make sure of is I wasn't going to be a farmer, so I got all the dirty jobs that nobody wanted. So I went to school at North Penobscot High School there, a little 1A school, and played baseball and played basketball there, and then went on to college at Union University in Jackson, Tennessee, and then started as a pharmacy major, and found out I didn't like chemistry, and I said, I'm going to have to do 8 years of this. I don't think so, and so I switched it to be a history major and minored in coaching and secondary education, and wasn't even going to play basketball. And my coach of the basketball team there said, you need to, if you're going to go into coaching, you need to work with us. So I started off as a student assistant there, helping out, and then they had an injury, and they asked me to be part of the program as far as a player, and got to practice on the college team and play a little bit, and then my knees didn't agree with me on that, so went back to being a student assistant and started playing beach volleyball, and that's how I got into volleyball, was playing beach volleyball because the sand didn't hurt my knees at all. And so I played beach volleyball, and then Union started a volleyball program. They hired the softball coach who was already there, and they gave him a second job, which was the volleyball program. And he knew I was playing volleyball and worked with the basketball team, so he asked me to be an assistant coach for him. That's how I got into coaching.
Okay.
It's coaching there. I'm like, I do beach. He said, oh, it's the same thing. I'm like, no, it's not. It's two different sports. So I got into coaching by being a student assistant with them. I was still a student there. So I was doing softball, basketball, and volleyball, and a full-time student.
Wow.
While I was there. So I think one semester I only went to class 2 weeks. And of course that was before the Google and the Dropbox and all that was going on. So it was a little challenge. I'd go to the library and I'd get proctored the tests, and we'd fax the test in. That was when faxing was big then. So did that, and then graduated, and they asked me to stay, and I decided I wanted to go back to my high school and try to develop my skills there in coaching, and coached volleyball at high school for 5 years, my home alma mater, North Penobscot, and then just felt I needed to go back to college. And so they hired me to come back. I got hired on a Friday as the assistant coach underneath the same coach I coached under before. On Monday, I was promoted to head coach. The coach wanted me to have the job. He was going to get out of it. Okay. He was going to work in a different area. He had some kids growing up, and coaching softball and volleyball, he didn't get to see his kids very much. He wanted to see his kids more.
Right.
So that's when I got hired as a head coach there, and I was there for 5 years. Went 121 and 51 there, and then they made some changes there, and my AD had left, had hired me, and new president and things, so I decided to go to Southern Arkansas University, which was the NCAA Division II. Union at the time was NAIA, and then I went to Southern Arkansas and worked there for 6 years.
Yeah.
And did very well there. Rebuilt the program there. They were 1-32 the year before I got there. Hadn't had a winning season in 11 years prior to me getting there. And my first season, we went 20-12.
What a turnaround.
And so that was a good accomplishment. Didn't cut anybody. Added 5 JUCO players, and went 20-12 and finished 3rd or 4th in the conference, and did really, really well there. And missed the playoffs by a tiebreaker. We would have been in the playoffs for the first time in a long time for them. And then my second years to 6 years, we went to the playoffs and got them to the conference championship for the first time since they went D2. And then they made some changes with the new AD and a new president there, and I thought it was just time to move on. And Jennifer Bonner recommended Cowley, and I came to Cowley, and I've been here ever since.
Terrific. Along the way, though, to have an opportunity to be a head coach at such a young age,
Yeah.
thrown into the fire like that, what was that experience like for you at such a young age? And was there some mentors you had that helped kind of make that transition a little easier for you?
It was, of course, the coach that I coached under taught me a lot. And then our AD was Dr. David Blackstock, who was a Hall of Fame basketball coach there. And then my basketball coach that I played under was still there.
Okay.
So I had those three guiding me along the way. And I was the assistant softball coach. Well, when I took over the volleyball head coach job, they gave me the assistant coach for softball still. So I didn't have the pressure of both being the head for both. And the AD was the head softball coach. So he was mentoring me as a Hall of Fame basketball coach. Now he's a softball coach there. Okay. So I had those mentors there. And what was so neat about it was, or nerve-wracking about it was, I was 28 years old, and I had a player on my team that was 30. So that was a little different, having somebody older than you, and you're coaching them.
That's a player coach age right there.
Yeah.
To play and coach at the same time.
Yeah. So that was really different.
Well, sure. And you talked about the opportunity that when Coach Bonner called you. But once you made the visit to Cowley and checked out everything here, I mean, obviously Coach Bonner had the program in a good spot to take over. It wasn't like the school you took over that was one win previously. But what was it about Cowley that made you feel like, and to make the move from D2 to the junior college level?
Well, I mean, I've been around Cowley for years. I even recruited Coach De Silva, when she was a player here, and I just missed her. But Cowley had a reputation. I recruited, when I was coaching softball, recruited a player from the softball team here.
Okay.
So I knew about Cowley and the tradition that Cowley had and the baseball program that Cowley had and things like that. So I knew about the tradition, but moving from 4-year to 2-year, that was one of the things I was, what's the difference? And that's where Jennifer Bonner came in and said, I would still be coaching there. I just felt it was time to move on. I haven't done that where you've already done that, so it's a different opportunity for you. So, and she's like, it's a great place to work. It's a great place to coach at. She said, I think you'd love it here. And so I've been here ever since, like I said.
Terrific. Coach, when you took over the baseball program, it was a program that needed, some change and needed someone to help build the program up. For Coach Gream to come into a program that's already been built, that's still a challenge, though, because you've got those expectations, and to try to take it to another level, which he's been able to do and win a couple of national championships.
Definitely more pressure on him than when I came in. All I could do was just be mouthy and tell everybody what I was going to do, and people just kind of snicker at you. But him, I mean, there's two things you do in this profession: is either you build or you maintain. And he elevated. So there you have it. So the Missouri, is that the Buda, Missouri?
Boot Hill, Missouri.
Buda, Missouri, yeah. I've been through there when I'm back in the old days scouting and stuff, go to Blytheville, Arkansas. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's some interesting country down in that part of the world.
Yes, it is.
Well, you're both from small towns, too, growing up. And I think that hard work ethic, too, that was probably instilled in you at a young age probably has helped you along the way.
Oh, for sure. And it taught us, you have to work for everything you get. And one of the things that I've brought to my coaching world is that hard work and that preparation and be diligent and not just winging it. You have to be ready for everything you do and work for everything you do, and it will pay off. And eventually, we call it the process here at Cowley.
Your parents, I hear you talk about them, and they're huge supporters of you and very proud of all the success you've had. But tell me your parents' names again, and where are they at right now?
Ronnie and Linda Gream. My dad retired from the farm, sold the farm, and moved to Tennessee. I was at Tennessee at the time, coaching at Union. My sister had graduated and had married our SID there at Union. So we were all in Tennessee. So my dad retired, knew he had to get away from the farm, and I never thought he'd live in the city ever. But that was one of the things that helped him get away from the farm, was he didn't see tractors going up and down the road.
Yeah.
And so he moved to the city where we were, and he came in, and I said, well, I'm going to use your expertise. And because part of my job at Union was also working on the softball field. You know, so I was like, you're a farmer, you know how to do grass, you know how to do things. So he came out and helped us with making sure that the soil was right, so we had the good dry on the field and things like that, and helped repair the mowers and everything. It gave him something to do, but still it wasn't work for him.
Sure.
So they moved over to Jackson where we were, and then I was there for 2 years. Then I left and went to Southern Arkansas, and I said, "Are you going to follow me?" He's like, "No, I'm good where I'm at." So the grandkids are here.
Tennessee's
So
one thing, pal, but going to Arkansas, nah, I'm good.
the grandkids were already coming around, so
that makes
he was
sense.
staying where the grandkids were. But you know, he's still there. He's still doing that. He just loves it and works at it and everything. And they've given him an award here for all his work that he's done there since. So
Those guys are invaluable. You can't.
Yeah.
You'd have to pay those guys a lot of money.
yeah.
Man.
Get 'em, you know, George Thomas don't come around very often.
No, for sure.
And he loves it, and it keeps him, keeps him busy, and and things like that. So, and they come to our games when we have host our tournament here, and they come to when we go to nationals, things like that. So they've been huge supporters for us for sure.
Wonderful. And your mother, is she as she worked, or was she at home?
She worked until I was born, and then she was a housewife and took care of us, me and my sister. And then, of course, went to our games and supported us on our games. And while Dad was busy on the farm, you don't just drop it and go to games every once in a while. Of course, he came to the big ones when we went to States and of course, the nationals now. So
Yeah, well, wonderful. Well, then I hope I get the opportunity to meet him at one of the matches because I know they're big supporters of you and the program, so that's great. You mentioned a little bit about Lena Da Silva, how you recruited her prior to getting an opportunity to come to Cowley, and having her now on your staff as an assistant coach. Can you tell me what Lena means to you and what she's brought to this program?
Well, like I said, when I was recruiting her, I wanted a solid player, and she was one of those players that did everything. She was a middle here, she was a right side here, she was a setter here, and being that player that does the little things. I noticed looking at film and watching her in person that she was very mature and knew the game very well, and so obviously I didn't get her to come to Southern Arkansas, but I kept tabs on her. And when I came here, obviously her foster parents were still here, so I kept tabs on her still. She had graduated from Pitt State and then went to Quincy, and then so I knew once I had an opening for an assistant coach's job that was going to be my first call. Yeah. And so when it came open, where Cassidy Cook, who was my assistant, left and went back to Florida, that was my first call to call her here to come here, and she finished her master's and was here, and she's been here for 9 years, and has been a big part of our program. She does a lot of things for us. She works with our setters, who've won 7 straight Setters of the Year.
Incredible.
She has worked with our defense the last few years. I think I turned our defense over her in 23. We win 2 national championships, so I guess she did all right.
I think so.
That's the one thing that would attract her. She's attractive because she's a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She plays a lot of fire too. I remember when she played. She was.
Yep.
That was entertaining thing about Washington because she had a lot of drive when she played volleyball.
And it hasn't fizzled one bit. She wants to win, and I
That's
ask.
important.
Yeah, and I ask the question to our players all the time. I say, do you love to win or hate to lose? She said, I hate to lose.
Me too.
Yep.
I hate to lose, and she works with our players as well with on the other side of things as well, and she bounces me out really well, as I'm sure you have with your assistants too. So
Absolutely.
and it's a good give and take from us. Good cop, bad cop. You want to call it that way, but it's really we really worked well together. Stonewall Jackson was Robert E. Lee's right arm. I feel she's my right arm here at Cowley.
Wonderful. Coach, you had a couple teams in 97, 98 that were able to win back-to-back World Series titles and national championships here at Cowley. And so you know how tough that journey is. And for the volleyball team to do that in 23-24, I'm sure you have a lot of respect for what Coach Gream and his teams were able to accomplish.
It's almost impossible. That's how hard it is. So you got to be good. For the first thing, you got to be good. You got to have a little luck, and the ball has to roll your way, though, too. I'll be the first to admit, the first year we had some breaks, and the ball rolled our way. The second year we had so many guys back that we just destroyed the field. That doesn't happen very often. You go to the national tournament. I'm sure volleyball's the same way. There's probably 2 or 3 teams that have a legitimate chance to win the tournament. and then everybody else really has to get hot, or they got to get something's got to go right for them. But those 2 or 3 teams, and we were in that boat both years, and even when we finished third, we were good enough to win it, but we weren't good enough, or we're good enough to finish third, but not good enough to win it, and that's just the bottom line. Either you win because you're good enough, or you lose because you're not good enough, and that's the bottom line.
That's very true.
Well, what was it about your 23 and 24 teams that made them so special, and that they were able to, win the national championship, and especially that 24 team to have that target on their back and to be able to do it a second year in a row?
Well, I mean, those teams were just so talented, and I've had teams that were good on offense and not so good on defense. I've had teams that had good setters and not good hitters. Teams that had good hitters and not good setters. Those 2 teams had everything. It was just the right balance of everything there. And then you add, our mental training and things where they just didn't worry about stuff. We were playing in the 23 national championship game, and we're up 14-12 in the 5th set, and we blow that lead. And they're up 16-15 with 1 point away from winning the championship. We get a big kill. Laura Bonomi gets a big block. Now, if you know anything about Laura Bonomi, blocking is not her thing. She gets a
Right.
huge block, and then they make an error, and we win. After being up 14-12, losing 16-15, and then come back and win 3 straight points to win the championship. And then in 24, it's the same thing. We're down 2-1 against Kirkwood. Kirkwood has us down 21-17 in the 4th set. They're getting close to winning.
Sure.
And we come back and beat them 26-24, and then beat them 15-6 in the 5th set to win the set and keep our streak going. And then we get to the championship game, and Johnson County wins the 1st set, probably plays the most perfect set you can play. And we don't even flinch. We win 3 sets in a row, and you can just see Johnson melting. And we're just like, well, so what? You beat us at the 1st set. Now we're just going to win the next 3.
Yeah.
That confidence and that preparation really went a long way. And I think the last thing was they just played to our standards. We talk about playing to a standard. And, you were talking about earlier, Coach, about, teams that are not so good, how do you play? And we say, I don't care who the opponent is, we're going to play to our standards. And so they didn't care who they were playing. They didn't care what the role they had. They didn't even worry about playing time. They just said, we're here to win, we're here to play at a high level, and we're here to play for each other. Those 3 things I thought were the secret sauce to how well those teams did.
And every team doesn't have that either.
Exactly.
Oh, boy.
You can make take a bowl of stew and use the same ingredients, and it doesn't turn out the same way all the time. So, but that inner drive that it's hard to add that to the ingredients, but that's just the way it is.
And that's what's so special about those sophomores from the 24. They never lost a college game.
Refresh my memory. I'm sorry, I should have this right now. Was it 110 in a row?
We won 104.
104. That's what it was. 104 in a row.
104 in a row.
That is that's mind-boggling. I mean, to me, to think that you step out there on the court, 104 different matches, and leave there victorious. I mean, that's a streak that I don't know if that. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that it'll never be broken, but boy, if it does, I'll be shocked. So,
well, if Lana hates losing, she should have been a happy girl because she didn't lose for 104 straight.
Exactly.
boy, that's a lot of fun bus rides, coming back from. I mean, because you go on the road to so many of those tournaments that you take and challenge your teams, and boy, to come out of those and do what you did during that run, congratulations. That was a lot of fun to be a part of. So, and even last year's team, I mean, like I say, you created this monster, so you have a top 5 finish, and I mean that's celebrated everywhere. Here at Cowley, it was kind of like, we came up just a little bit short, but that's the monster you've created, though. And so this year's team, I know you've got some good players coming back. You've got a lot of new faces, too, that'll be in there in the mix. And it's early, obviously. We won't get started here for another probably 6 months, but what's kind of an outlook for your team? I mean, obviously the goals are still the same, but what are you feeling like for next season's team? What can the fans be on the lookout for?
Well, the goals are still the same. We want to play for excellence every time we step on that court. And play to our standards, like I said. And we've got 7 returning, from last year. It has a lot of great experience. They got a lot of playing time this year. And then we had got a transfer at Christmas that as a Izzy Bueno that came in from NEO.
Terrific.
He's going to come in and give us some work, help with our passing. I felt like our passing was really our Achilles heel last year. It wasn't horrible by any means, but it wasn't to the level we have to run our offense. We have to have the passing run our offense. And I feel like we've revamped our passing. That's going to help us a lot this year, coming up in 26. And so, recruiting wise, we've brought in some passers. We brought in some players from Bulgaria that's going to help us on the outside. We lost Jossie Buckley, so we brought in another outside hitter to go with her. And we're looking at some middles to come in. Ashlyn Jackard comes in and doesn't play very much her freshman year and wins All-American this year. That's how deep we've been over the years, and so being able to do that and play at a high level and do that thing is going to carry over. And I think we've recruited well to kind of carry that on. And, we're still recruiting a little bit. We got to get a few more middles, but I think, the core coming back and what we've added so far, it's going to be, pretty exciting to see us in 26.
Sure. Coach, you know all about the community support, when you were a coach here at Cowley, and it's something special about Ark City, and especially when you're winning.
It's vital for sure, but it's something that the community takes pride in, though, too. Because I think ownership is a big thing with your alumni, with your support groups, and with your support from the community as well, from a fan standpoint. So, I do have a question, Steve. Tell me, you've been on both levels. What's the difference between coaching junior college kids and kids at the 4-year level?
I really don't see a drastic change, especially since I recruit the same kids that I did when I was coaching at the 4-year level. My major thing is it's just where I got them for 2 years, and then at the other place I got them for 4. But what I love about coaching here rather than over the 4-year was I have them for those 2 years and I get to teach more. I don't have the rules that I did in the NCAA that allows me to have more time with them here. I have the ability to teach more and move them on and see them succeed at the next level. Whereas at the 4-year level, you do the same thing for the first 2 years, but once you get to that junior, senior year, you're starting to, I don't necessarily want to say you're losing them, but at the same time that they're getting to where they've heard you for a few years.
Yeah, they've been down that road so many times they can give your coaching speech to you.
Exactly.
Instead of you giving it to them. So.
Exactly. So I think that's a major change, but, I still coach the same. I still recruit the same. It's just a matter of perspective on that regard.
So how do you handle those young kids about when it comes time to move on, because you've had that experience? You can tell those kids what to expect when they go on. So does that come into play in recruiting, or?
Yes, it comes in a lot of play because I train the same, and people know me from the 4-year world. They know how I train. They know the tradition that Cowley has. And so I make a phone call, they're listening. Yeah. And they know this tradition of excellence that we've had here. They know I'm going to train them, and they know I'm not going to lie to them. I'm going to tell them the truth. And on the player side, I'm going to advise them of, the schools that I think would be good for them, or the level I think would be good for them, give them advice along the way. And so, that's what our players are doing right now. They're taking visits and calling me and saying, what do you think? This is what they're offering. What do you think? And I'll give them my advice, and then it's up to them, of course. And we don't really push a certain level. We want to find the best fit for them and what's been good for them in their career.
It's all about playing and getting an education.
Correct.
So you can do that just about anywhere.
Yep. And
have a good time playing. That to be a Division I level. But if you do have a chance to go to Division I level, it'd be hard to say no because all the money that's being spent now.
Especially nowadays, yes.
Yeah. It's a little different. The days are different. It's a different neighborhood now.
Yeah, isn't it though? I know. Coach, obviously whenever you're winning, you're going to have more fans in the stands, but I love seeing the fan support, the community support that is at the volleyball matches. It's unlike anywhere else in the conference. I mean, any other match that I watch you guys when you're on the road, there's nothing like it. Mm-hmm. I love the support that we got at tell me what the community support means to you. And you do a lot with the community, with the volleyball pancake feed. Mm-hmm. You'll do nights where the players are out there signing autographs after the matches and stuff. Very community oriented, have your players out helping with organization, those things. I love that about your group. But tell me what it means to you to have that support from the community and how that helps your program.
Well, I don't think Cowley Volleyball would be Cowley Volleyball without the community support. I think community support has been so huge for us. We actually ask our players, other than volleyball, what do you love about Cowley the most? And they'll always say, number one answer, community support.
Wonderful.
Number one answer. And it's because the community supports them. The foster parent program is a huge thing for them. When we go on road games, when we go to nationals, we got more fans in the stands than anybody.
Always.
Kirkwood's hosting the tournament.
Amazing.
You know? And that's where you see that sea of orange there, and seeing those players and the fans in the stands, and the players see that. That's huge for them, and the pancake breakfast and things, and helping us out with that. But we started the pancake breakfast just to get the kids out in the community and get them off the court, meeting them on the community, and let the people see them.
Right.
If we made $1, it was great, but it was more about just getting the two together and letting them see the players away from the court, so to speak.
Sure.
And that's what we've always enjoyed about the community, is how much they support us and are being good to us. And that you talked about our court. I mean, it's loud. We've had coaches tell us we hate playing at Cowley because it feels like we're getting suffocated not only by your play but your fans.
Right.
That one side that's over there with the student section, they hear it.
Oh,
you know. And so I think that's huge for us. I think it's our seventh man. I've always called it the seventh man. We have, since 2009, we have a 93% winning percentage in that gym in the W.S. Scott.
Incredible.
And so that is a big
you talk about a home court advantage.
home court advantage. That's huge for our fans to come in and be that seventh man for us.
Yeah, terrific, Coach. And academics are important to you, too. Not just doing well, out there on the court, but, you're here to get an education. And a lot of these players, hopefully they'll go on and maybe play, at a 4-year school, but, then they're going to move on and have careers. So you value education. And tell me, your team seem like every year they're always very good academically. That seems like that's something you really stress to your squads.
I see it as another competition. They're handing out team academic awards. Let's go get one.
Yeah.
The AVCA hands out one for having a 3.3 GPA or higher. Last year, we had the top GPA in the NJCAA, not just in volleyball, all sports.
Oh, congratulations, yeah.
And then in this fall, we just had a 3.77 GPA. So we're winning the national championships, but we're also winning the academic national championships. So we see it as another competition for us. But like you said, we're here to get it. They're here to get education. Volleyball just helps pay the bill.
Yeah.
And so if we can come here and get education, and they can move on to the 4-year and do well there and go on to be doctors and lawyers and coaches and things like that, I think that's a huge thing for us.
Terrific.
We never won one of those. Our guys were like Steve. They didn't like chemistry. Chemistry didn't like them back, though. Yeah. That was the problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't help your team GPA, so let's just say that. All right. But, Coach, I know that volleyball is your life. I mean, and that's what's made your team so successful. And, I mean, you love the sport. And what is it, though, when you have some free time? What do you like to do when you have a little downtime for yourself? Do you have any kind of hobbies when you have some free time?
Coach, do you have free time?
Yeah, I do now.
You do now?
But what about that 30 years prior to that?
Well, I always tell everybody I was lucky. My hobby was my job.
Yeah.
My job was my hobby. So I didn't, my free time was going home and to the chaos of the house with kids running around and stuff like that. But like Lefty was on, we had staff meetings while we were hunting, because that was our time to get away from everything. And
That's right.
It was no interference to the outside world. And I apologize for my phone going off. It was the Rangers. They'll Boches coming back, and he wants me to be his dugout coach, you reckon?
Well,
that's probably not it.
Talk about
yeah,
it,
that's probably not it. But they're probably wanting something else. But but that free time's overrated sometimes, though, too.
Yeah, I just don't. Volleyball's always been my hobby.
Yeah.
I love volleyball, but to answer your question, he talked about hunting. My thing probably be I like to go to movies by myself.
Oh yeah,
especially getting that night movie where you're the only one in the theater.
Sure.
I just love it. That's my me time.
Is there a certain genre of movies you like, or
no,
just?
It just depends. It depends on what comes out. Right. I don't think it's a good movie. I'll go watch it.
Yeah, right.
I'm kind of going away from the Marvel ones now more, but I still like the classics too. They'll bring the classics back and go to the theaters.
Yeah, I love that. The old $4 nights. Heck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I like to travel, and when I can. Of course, volleyball lets me do that. So
sure.
Again, I'm doing volleyball. I'll go to Hawaii. Been to Hawaii 18 times, but
how nice.
volleyball is taking me there.
Yeah.
So they're all intertwined, so to speak, for me.
Great.
I travel, I read, and things like that. But again, I'm reading volleyball. I'm reading coaching books. I'm reading sports psychology books and things like that. So even though some people would call that leisure, I'm still working in the way I look at it because volleyball is my hobby.
Yeah, I hear you mention a lot of times, that you're a meat and potatoes guy.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me, what's your go-to steak place if you have to go find a good steak?
If it's local, I'm going to probably Stagecoach down in Newkirk.
Okay.
If I want to drive a little bit, I'll go to Buck's Barbecue out at
Sedan.
Sedan.
Sure.
And, of course, but when I travel, I also try to get a good steak too. I've been to the stockyards a few times in Oklahoma and Fort Worth and Omaha steak. You gotta get an Omaha steak every once in a while. I've been up there and got that, and I've tried out the Kansas City steaks and things like that. So I just go everywhere. Now, if you're going to go to chain, probably Texas Roadhouse would be my favorite. If you're going to go chain,
Sure.
but sometimes I'll go to Outback or Longhorns. But yes, I'm a steak and potatoes guy.
I'm with you. I don't know, Coach. Do you have a favorite steak place, or what's kind of your go-to meal?
Oh man,
I know when you were coaching, it was if you'd win, the guys get to go get a steak. If they'd lose, it was brown paper bag with maybe a burger in there if you're lucky.
That was our philosophy. You play like the Yankees, you get to eat like the Yankees. Play like the Bad News Bears, you get sack lunch. That's just the way it is. You hope. There's been some days when the sack lunch was good though.
Too good for those guys we have.
It's been a long day, so you were hungry. I don't know, man. My go-to place. I like the steakhouse in Ponca City.
The Rusty Barrel.
Yeah, the Rusty Barrel's a good one.
I like that place a lot. So, and the place at Sedan's good too. So.
I think there's a new one that opened up in over on Call Lake called like the Flying J or something. So I have to check that out. James Schaefer, Tiger Booster Club president, said that's a good one we have to check out. So yeah, I have to keep that on your mind, Coach. I'll send you a link to it. He sent me go check out this new steak place. So if you're driving down the road on our long recruiting trip, what kind of music do you got in? What are you listening to?
I really don't listen to a lot of music, really.
Any books on tape, anything like that? Or are you just kind of just drive in silence and just kind of, or what's kind of your thing when you're on a recruiting trip?
When I'm driving on a recruiting trip, I'll listen to Fox News a lot and catch up on my news.
Gotcha.
Or I'll watch MLB Network because I like volleyball, but I also love baseball as well. Yeah. And so I'll be listening to that. Now, I miss the days when I was driving home and I had Vin Scully on the radio and listened to a Dodger game. I miss those days. Sure. The classic guys are retiring now.
They are.
And so, but that, and then I also like Radio Classics. There's a Radio Classics station that plays all the classics from the 1920s up to the 50s before TV was a big thing.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's like a TV show without watching the TV screen, of course. And, And so you get the old Amos and Andes and the the Gunsmoke shows.
Sure.
Before Gunsmoke with the TV, it was Gunsmoke the radio show. So
wow, I didn't realize
things
that.
like that I listen to as well. So I enjoy those that help me get down the road a little bit more so than music, so to speak. But I do.
Is that
listen
related
to
some of your TV watching? If you were watching, are you into some of the old shows too? Then, or?
Yeah, you go to my house, I'm probably watching Gunsmoke or Have Gun Will Travel or some of those classics. But I'll get into the 80s and 90s like Law and Order and Who's the Boss and things like that. So I'm not too big on the new stuff. I'll dabble sometimes, but not too much. I'm a classic guy, both with my music as well as with my TV shows.
Sure. Well, go ahead, Coach.
I was going to say next fall when you're playing, you're coming home late at night, just tune in Rama and Bulldog football. It's not Ben Scully, but Scully's not Rama Peroo though either. So he'll make you relax all the way across campus.
Well, help you put you to sleep at least. So there you go.
Well, I think every good announcer has to have that voice, and Rama's got it. So he's already got a check mark off that for sure.
Coach, if you're looking at, you were a young person yourself and got into coaching. If you're looking at this young person comes to you right now and says, hey, I'm thinking about getting into coaching, what advice would you give to that young person?
Learn as much as you can. Go talk to coaches that have experience like Coach here and some other coaches we have here at Cowley or around. Go to conventions and learn from people who are presenting at conventions and try to get some acquaintances there where you can start learning making some connections and do that. I got connections that I got when I was starting in the coaching world that I still use today. Oh, we send our players there or ask for advice on some things. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Type thing. And I think also get into sports psychology because it's getting more and more as a need now, not only to make them better players and on the field, but also how to bounce back from mistakes, how to deal with pressure, how to deal with certain things. But I think also it'll make you a better coach as well, because it'll teach you how to do that. I know when I started studying it more, I got much better as a coach, which allowed me to relate to my players better and help them out a little bit more. And I think our mental training has really helped us out a ton in our program in the last, since 2021. We've really hit mental training hard, and you can see the payoff there.
Terrific.
And I think beyond that, just forgive yourself and remember it's a process, and don't look at the end result so much. Focus on the process to get better every day, and be a lifelong learner. Never think you know it all, because you don't.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
What most people don't know, I have a degree in psychology as well. But I was talking to somebody about that other day. It's like that psych degree paid off, because at the time I was coming out after I got through playing, I thought it was important to learn how to manage the locker room as much as the game.
sure.
But now I'd almost maybe go back and get another.
Get a master's in it.
No, I don't know if I'd get a master's in psychology, but I'd have some business classes too, because if you're going to move on, you better have some business sense too, because there's just so much money being given out now. So you better learn how to handle that and be able to balance your books as well. But that psychology part of it is good. And what's the old saying in baseball, is what you learn after you know it all that counts.
That's right.
That's where coaches are. Once you think you got it all figured out, if your mind's open, you're going to keep learning. And when the day you don't learn, it's probably time to move on, because you've topped out. And the kids will realize it too, because that's one thing that I don't think kids have changed. I think things around them have changed, but the brain's still wired the same as it was back when I was a kid. But you got to know how to manage and how to motivate those kids now. It's a little bit different, because I didn't grow up playing 90 games in the summertime. We played in American Legion. If we played 30, we thought that was a big league schedule.
Yeah.
Now they play 30 games in a month.
God, isn't it
So they take it for
crazy?
granted.
Yeah.
It's just different. So,
It is.
and the things around them are different. But yeah, that's good advice, because you never know who you're going to touch. And you never know who's watching you either. That maybe you change their mind and they want to follow your footsteps.
Well, for all of you out there, the success that Coach Grimm's had on the volleyball court, with his athletes on the court and in the classroom. Also, though, you're the PA announcer for the Tiger baseball games, and so I appreciate the compliment you gave me. I want to give one right back to you, that you do a great job at those games. So it's always been great I love listening to other people that are doing PA announcing. I do PA for the basketball, so it's something I enjoy to go hear a person that's knowledgeable and knows what they're doing. You do a great job with that. Excited to have you back doing the baseball games again this season.
Well, thank you, and it's always fun, and it helps me stay linked to baseball, even though I'm coaching volleyball, and baseball's my number 2. Sorry, Coach. But
That's all right. I'm waiting for you to go like the guy who's the PA guy for the Yankees used to be. Now batting Derek Jeter. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for the echo in the microphone someday.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hear it because I'm in the press box.
Right. Well, Coach was in last week getting his walk-up music and different music ready to play throughout the season. So I know we're excited to have some Tiger baseball home games coming up here before we know it.
Well, you need your walk-up music so when you come to the game, Steve can play it.
Yeah, right. Now entering the stadium.
What would it be? What would your walk-up music be?
Oh, man, I don't know. Gosh darn, I'd have to think about that, Coach. I'd like to come up with something really clever, I'll tell you what I should.
Well, John Travolta's likes, Saturday Night Fever. I don't remember the song now, but where he's walking down from the paint can or whatever. Yeah, staying alive or whatever. With your gate, that'd be awesome.
Well, Coach, it's been a pleasure having you with us today. It's been great. Like I say, you've done such great things here at Cowley. I appreciate you, for your friendship and what you've done here for the school. And I know, Coach, it's not easy to be a coach at Cowley, because the expectations are, if you're at Cowley, the expectations are to win.
You shouldn't be here if you're not expecting to win. So, but no, it's been a good time. It's been very informative to me, because I've learned a lot today as well.
For sure. Coach, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, just stick around just a minute. We just got a few house cleaning duties. We're going to finish things up, but I will tell you guys this, though. Before I came in here today, I recently took a poll And I found out 100% of the people in the tent were angry when it collapsed. So, yeah, so that's
Show's over. How you going to top that? There's no way to
I
top
won't be taking
that.
any more pulls.
No,
or at
I
least
hear
not
you.
from tents. So,
I hear you.
okay.
Yeah, Rip gets nervous when you start telling your joke because the delay button's coming on somewhere. He knows it for sure.
Yeah, we clean it up for this show, folks. All right. Just some events coming up, though. A lot of great things going on at Cowley. Softball hosts a doubleheader, so get on out there. We just here in about 15 minutes. Doubleheader versus NOC Tonkawa today at 1 and 3. Tomorrow, big basketball games, guys. Homecoming. Get the return of Tommy DeSalm, former Tiger head coach, who will be back here with his Garden City squad. Big ones at 5:30 and 7:30 for the men's and women, and then Saturday will be the return of Eric Nitchie and his Butler Grizzly team. So, a couple big basketball games for the men and the women. The women trying to get back up into that top 8 to get a home game. The men still only 2 games back in the loss column of first place. So, a lot to be decided.
2 really good quality opponents too. I mean, if you like to see up and down basketball, watch a ping pong match. You're going to be right at home both nights.
Yeah, Butler, I believe, is leading the country in scoring. So you're going to see. Yeah, you're right. And then with Tommy DeSalm, that's where it all started from. He brought that run and gun here to Cowley, and then it's kind of carried on. Been some fun basketball to watch.
I'm looking forward to both games. They ought to be entertaining.
Congratulations to last week's guest, Justice Circle, we had on here, and his wrestling team captured their first ever district title over the weekend in Pratt. So great accomplishment for Justice and his wrestling program.
That's pretty cool.
The Tiger indoor track and field teams just continue to do well. Kamara Burnham tied the school record in the pole vault last weekend at Washburn, and they're going to compete at the region and conference championships this weekend at Pratt. Then number 16 ranked Tiger baseball team, they've played 6 games out in Texas already, and they're going to head back for another 3 at Panola Junior College on Friday and Saturday. And then the number 2 ranked Lady Tiger tennis team and the number 5 ranked Tiger men's tennis team will play at Newman University on Thursday at 1 o'clock. So a lot of great things going on at Cowley. Come on out and support your Tigers. And, Coach, can't wait to watch your team again in the fall. I know they're going to be a lot of fun to watch, and it'll be great to see WS Scott Auditorium rocking when your team's playing.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, once again, appreciate our guest today, Coach Steve Gream. Appreciate Coach Dave Burroughs as always. And thank you, Chris Ripley, for doing all the work to bring this podcast to you. Can't wait to see you again next Tuesday for the Behind the Stripes podcast. We'll see you then.